Welcome to a new episode of Ausfahrt.tv in what I call English, and I'm your host, Mr. Z. Today we are in California. We attended at the LA Motor Show yesterday, and today we use the last bit of time before we fly home to Germany to make a short review about the Smart Fortwo. If you haven't seen Ausfahrt.tv before, well, have a look at the description of this video. You find jump markers because all our videos are divided into different chapters, and down there you find the jump markers and you can jump from chapter to chapter. In 1998, the brand Smart of Daimler Mercedes presented their first release of the Smart Fortwo. Well, there are, I think, two groups of people like me who always smile if they see this wannabe car, and on the other hand people like Toby, the camera guy, the tall one, who is totally in love with this car, who is a big fan and who's driving the first generation. In 2007 they presented the second product generation. The design, the outside, the exterior didn't change too much, but there was one really big change: the length of the car. The first generation was just 2.5 meters long, while the second generation gained 20 centimeters. And while you could put the first generation just the other way around in parking slots, you couldn't do this with the second generation anymore because it was a tiny bit too long. Well, in July 2014 they presented the third product generation. That's the baby that is standing right here, and we did an introduction clip and it's linked down in the description of this very video. Until the change to the third product generation, Smart has sold 1.6 million units of the Smart Fortwo, so they call the car pretty successful, and they're proud that even in the last year, each year they sold about 100,000 units. Do we see competitors? Not really. I mean, not in terms of a two-door, two-seater with a trunk that short. Smart is offering the new generation, or the third generation of the Smart Fortwo, with 3 different engines. We got 60 horses, 71 horses and 90 horses. You can choose between a manual 5-speed or a 6-speed automatic transmission, and this is now a dual clutch transmission, so it's not nodding your head all the time when the car is shifting for you. And here's the heart of, I'm just joking, the engine is below the trunk, of course, and you have to screw it, unscrew some plates, and then you have a look. And I'm in California now, you know, I'm all relaxed and chilled out. I don't feel like unscrewing anything just to put my hand on anything, so forgive me. Here you just have the battery and some fluids that you can fill in, and you can release this plate pretty easily. However, our test car is equipped with a 900 cubic centimeter 3-cylinder gasoline engine that has 90 horses. Wow, you know, and it's good for maximum torque of 135 Newton meters, and you get them at 2,500 RPM. Our car is equipped with the automatic transmission, and like all the Smart Fortwo, it has rear-wheel drive, so fun in wintertime. Let me give you the basic facts of our little test car. With the automatic transmission, the Smart Fortwo with a 90 horses accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour in 11.3 seconds. The top speed is reached at 155 kilometers per hour or 96 miles per hour. The gas tank of the 2015 Smart Fortwo Coupe is good for 28 liters, which equals 7.4 gallons. Smart claims a fuel consumption of just 4.1 liters on 100 kilometers or 57.3 miles per gallon, which means that under perfect condition you can drive up to 680 kilometers or 420 miles without getting gas. In terms of CO2 emissions, the 2015 Smart Fortwo with a 90 horses engine sets free 96 grams per kilometer according to Smart. The Smart Fortwo coupe has a length of 2.69 meters, which equals 106 inches, with a wheelbase of 1.87 meters, which equals 74 inches. It is 1.55 meters high, so 61 inches, and it is 1.66 meters wide, so 65 inches. As of the turning circle, you need at least 7.3 meters or 24 feet of free space. The curb weight is 900 kilograms or 1,984 pounds. The admissible total weight is 1,170 kilograms, which equals 2,579 pounds. In Germany, our test car, and I'm really not sure, I'm just guessing, would cost around about 20,000 euros. Well, we don't have much time here in Santa Monica, so I'm going through real quick as a whole car. If you're really interested in the Smart Fortwo, please watch the introduction video. You find a link in the description of this video. I'm just telling you, the third generation got a little bit wider, so you got more space inside. It has this smiley face with a new logo, and it always comes with halogen headlights and two different ways to have the day running light. We got the LED package, and so we had to have another shape than without the LED package. Since we got the American model, we have turning signal indicators on the side of the headlights. That's for the law here, the European models don't come with this. Well, in the press release I was reading, the designers say the car has a 1.5 box design. 1.5 box design, and they say as well they put the hood in the front a little bit higher to make the car look more sporty. I'm saying, ooh, well, you know, I don't know. Toby's saying, yeah, sporty car, awesome. However, if you look at the car, you see two colors. White is the tritium cell that captures the whole car, while the blue is just for the body panels, and you have the choice between 6 different colors of the cell and 10 different colors of the body parts. This one is just called white, as you can see, white, and the blue is called midnight blue. Our proxy Smart Fortwo stands on 16-inch alloys, but those are the optional ones. The other ones look a little bit different, the factory setting ones. By the way, in front we find a disc brake, while in the rear we just have a drum brake. Let's have a look at the rear. Not much to say. We have a little spoiler on the roof with a third braking light. We have a little tiny windscreen wiper. I know quite a few people who don't buy cars without a wiper in the rear. By the way, the rear lid is still separated, so the glass goes up while the plastic goes down. Besides that, I think from the rear view you have an idea that the car did get a little bit wider, and for the sporty effect, and Toby is like really going crazy here, we got a chrome exhaust pipe. Talking about the rear lights, we have some LED around, but everything in the center is just normal light bulbs. Alright, let's get inside and check out the interior. To me, if I open the door of the Smart Fortwo, it's so funny because it's like you have the feeling that you always that you have the complete car, you know, you just destroy it because this door is just more than the car is. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Well, it's a coupe, you know, so we have frameless windows in here, and let's check out how I can get inside. Well, getting inside the Smart Fortwo is pretty easy. It's a little bit, you know, you have to a little bit go up. I have lowered the seat to the very low. However, it's sort of getting inside a small SUV. Closing door is pretty easy, and I'm ready for California. Welcome inside the new Smart Fortwo, or at least the third product generation, new in 2014. Alright, I was quite impressed, you know. I'm not too much of a smart driver, unlike Toby, and when I got in, I felt, you know, it felt spacious actually in here. I mean, for a compact car or a tiny car it does feel spacious, you know. It's probably the windscreen that goes down. You have all this dashboard here, and so I kind of liked it. By the way, the material, the dashboard is covered with cloth, which I kind of like because it's better than just hard plastic, you know. This white stuff is even painted, you know, so it feels a little bit premium as well. But down here we got regular hard plastics. Well, in the door panels we have this blue cloth as well, and up here it's hard plastic again. So, well, it's not premium appeal, but it's not bad either, you know. I don't like all the white because I would be afraid to, you know, ruin the whole car in between a week. I'm pretty sure I would be able to do this. Okay, I have enough space. It's not only a spacious feeling, I had no problems finding a good sitting position. Even if I pull down the shade here, I have more than a fist that I can put between my head and the shade. To the side, I'm fine, even with Toby, and he's not a tiny guy. Sitting next to me, everything is cool, really. Beside, you know, your hands always belong to the steering wheel. But if you just stand on a parking, on a red light, I mean, you can even, you know, rest your arm pretty neat on the side. I like this. That's not too bad at all. No, not at all. But however, I'm just 180 centimeters tall, so 5'11". So, you know, younger people are growing higher, I guess, just like Toby. He's 195 centimeters tall, so 6'5", and let him jump in here, and you can have a look how tall people sit in the new Smart.
Thanks, Jan. Hello to you guys. I have to confess that I do not have that much space in here. Like in my Smart, first generation Smart, it feels like I have more space, especially head space and space for my legs and for my hands for the steering wheel. And I have to say, I do not feel like tightened up, but well, a little bit at least.
Well, thanks, Toby. Good insight for all the tall guys who are watching. I would just go on and tell you, well, using the car, you find everything right in place, but the center is not focusing me at all, which is kind of funny because what is it focusing? The rear? There's no rear, you know. That's kind of funny. Besides that, we were driving down here from Beverly Hills to Santa Monica. That sounds cool, right? Well, you know, we were driving down here from from Beverly Hills in LA, you know, down to the pier in Santa Monica. Pretty cool, right? And we were driving up to a red light, and on the left lane there was a Ram 1500, and we just had one as a test car. And driving the Ram, I was like, yeah, king of the road, I'm sitting so high, you know. And I was thinking when I was approaching the Ram, well, I will feel really tiny now. But you're not. You're sitting pretty high in this car, and since you don't recognize that the car ends right behind you, you don't even have the feeling that you're driving such a tiny car. It's actually okay. I was quite impressed. Okay, let's rock and go our normal stuff. We cannot adjust the height of the safety belt on our shoulder, but at least we have a little hook for the safety belt so that we don't have to reach all the way back. And I will show you the length of the seat belts, so they're pretty long, I might say. I cannot tell you how comfortable the seats are because we just drove a tiny bit, you know, just from Beverly Hills down to Santa Monica, the pier, you know. And however, they were not too bad the few miles down here. You can adjust them manually in height. You can adjust the backrest, which I don't like because it's just a knob you pull and then you have to, you know, adjust the backrest and then you let the knob alone. I rather have a little wheel so, you know, you don't end up kissing the steering wheel. Ooh, wow. And you can pull it all the way forward and all the way in the back. Oh, that's too far for me. That's okay. You can even heat the seats up in one intensity, so on and off. We didn't check this out because it's hot here. November and still pretty hot in the sun. Okay, this steering wheel is not adjustable, not even manually. I cannot find anything to adjust it, so it's not adjustable, period. It's coated with leather, and on the sides where you have your hand, it's even perforated leather, so it feels good and fine. We have shifting pedals right behind, and they are made of plastic. Feels a little bit cheap, but you can reach them easily. However, I didn't even use them. It's a multifunctional steering wheel, so we have a bunch of buttons. I get reminded a little bit of a a steering wheel from a console like a PlayStation or so, with all those buttons. On the left side we have buttons to control the board computer. On the right side to increase and decrease the volume of the infotainment system or do a speech command. And down here 4 more buttons, 2 on each side for the cruise control. So this car has a cruise control. Yeah. And yeah. That's just fine. I'm quite pleased. Okay, I had a little bit problems with the mirrors. They're pretty tiny on one hand, and on the other hand, adjusting is kind of strange because the button is here in the door panel, and I really had to flip my mind, and I'm really suffering from a big jet lag, so everything is a little bit slow today. How to adjust the thing really, and it took me a while, and even if I figured it out, I was not pleased with the angle I see, especially on the left side. However, I think Toby is always fine with the Smart, and maybe I'm just irritated because the car is ending so close to me. Yeah. Okay, in the inner mirror you see the headrest of the seats. By the way, we cannot adjust the headrest, so it's just standing there. And a little bit of the rear window. It's okay for a little peek, but honestly you don't see much. If I turn around my head over my shoulder, it's not too bad because we have this little window that is fixed, and so I see enough. The other way around over the right shoulder, fine until the B pillar, which is the end of the car. This is really huge. You know, it feels like ½ a meter wide. It's probably not, but there's definitely a blind spot. So make sure if you buy a Smart that you always check the mirror as well. So mirror and shoulder view, you know, that has to be a unit. What's so funny, Toby? Okay, we don't have a rear camera in here, obviously, because it wouldn't fit in the display. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I can tell you something about the cockpit. We have a speedometer in here in the front, up to 120 miles, around about 200 kilometers per hour. In Europe you get kilometers, okay? Believe me, that's an American car. In Europe you have kilometers in there. And in between we have a little colored display. On the top row you always see time, current speed and the temperature. It's cooling down actually. Now it has 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Earlier we had 80. And it's, well, never mind. On the lower part you see the control of the fuel tank, and in between you have the board computer. You see your current mileage of the car, like the trip mileage and the total mileage. You have 2 views, from start and from reset, the numbers, how long you've driven, how many miles, fuel consumption and so on. There's an efficiency screen, the temperature of the car, some messages, and you can go into and change the settings, for instance, the display or the ambient light. So our car has an ambient light. Here you can adjust the, well, turn it off and on and adjust the brightness at least. On the left side we have this additional instrument. It's the RPM meter going up to 7,000 RPM, and it's all in the red range actually, because the digits are in red. The red range starts at 6,000 RPM, and inside there is a little clock as well. It used to be in the center, now it's on the side, and you can even turn it, you know. So even if you drive all the way hanging out the window, you can still see your RPM. Excellent. All right. I'm sorry. Well, I can't tell you much about the infotainment system because we don't have it. It's just a radio with a monochrome display, I would even say. Black background and red digits. And let me think. Oh yeah, we have a sunroof. Well, at least we have a sunroof, but you cannot open it. At least you have a slider to keep the sun out, you know. Prevent yourself from getting cancer and all that. And there's a horn right here. Oh no, the ambient light. We do have an ambient light. At the side at least, I see something glowing in orange, but I'm not sure where else. And since it's so bright outside, I won't figure it out. Maybe in the door panels, I'm not sure. But at least here at the side, you have an orange ambient light. And here's a horn. Sounds like this. It suits the car, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, I'm sorry I honked, you know. That's how the horn sounds like. Well, let's check out the compartments here in this little Smart, and Toby told me there's a bunch to show. In the door panels we have space, I would say, even for 1.5 liter bottle. Mercedes did not supply any drinks here. They didn't even give us water, you know, and I just figured it out when we came here, and I didn't feel like, you know, driving away again. However, so we pretend this camera is a bottle now. Understand? The bottle. So this bottle sits in here pretty well, but even bigger bottles will fit in there, no problem. Well, in the first generation, you could use the dashboard as a compartment as well. I know Toby is doing this. Here it's not possible anymore. The next thing I can show you is a little compartment right here for a pen maybe, or some coins, but it's not even anti-slip. Then we have 2 cup holders, and our bottle fits in here just all right. You don't have really spaces, and I think this space is really limited to small bottles or small cups, up to 1/2 liter maybe. You remember the old generations of the Smart, you had the stick of the transmission and then the key for the ignition? Yeah. Ignition. That's now here. How common, you know, that was cool. This is rather, yeah, like in every other car, a little bit boring. Between the stick and the stick of the handbrake, you have something like a compartment, at least for, you know, a hat or some gloves or whatever. I was a bit irritated when I pulled the handbrake because it feels, I don't want to say cheap, but I mean it, you know? It feels really cheap, like this handle will fall off if I really pull it. If Arnold Schwarzenegger would drive a Smart, you know, and he would pull the handle, he would have it in his hands. That's how it feels like. On the other hand, this car, rear-wheel drive and a real handbrake. Fun in wintertime for sure. Going a little bit farther, here we have a 12-volt outlet, and in the very back another bottle holder. Yeah, same size like in the front. Over the gloves compartment there's a little thing here. I could put my iPhone as well. I need to charge it because I need power, and it has a sort of anti-slip surface. Even not a bunch of stuff will fit in here, but still a little bit. And compared to the size of the gloves compartment, it's pretty huge up here because this is really tiny. There's a little lamp glowing in there in orange. Here's the money they gave us. No, it's not. I was really disappointed, and that's it. That's small, you know. Beneath you have the airbag for the knees. There's a secret compartment, sort of. Not anymore because I told you. Well, here's a little drawer you can pull out, and you can put some stuff in. It even has an anti-slip surface. So, you know, if you wanna. Actually, for me, it's cool, you know. When I'm driving, you know, I'm all focused and concentrated. Toby's always like typing on his iPhone. I could grab it and put it in there and say, son, you're not playing with your iPhone anymore. So that's here. Besides that, we have shades on both sides with makeup mirrors. Mirrors is not too small, but it's not illuminated. You have a reading light for the driver and the passenger, and an entry light where all lights are going on. I have to slip back a little bit. We don't have handles at the door, but those are holders for your shades. Toby's glasses, because right now he is wearing shades, fit in there all right. My poser Ray-Ban is just too big, you know. Whatever I do, it's falling off. So yeah, it's too small for my Ray-Bans. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Hope I didn't miss anything. There's nothing below the seats, and back is the trunk. Yeah, that's it. Before I show you this tiny trunk, I would like to show you the key. It looks a little bit like a Mercedes key, except on the other side is a smart logo. On the rear side we have 4 buttons, lock, unlock, open the trunk, and a panic button, which is just for the American market, I guess. And here's a button, and then you have a real key that you need to start the car. However, let's start with the trunk. You have a little button right here, push button, and then you can open the lid, the glass lid part of the trunk. Then you pull a handle and the other part falls down, and you can even put some weight on here. I think with the old Smart it was around about 100 kilograms. Besides that, it's not only for sitting, but inside you have a little storage as well. However, you can load up to 260 kilograms or 9 cubic feet in the trunk of the Smart Fortwo, and we managed to put almost all of our luggage in here. Well, I'm traveling today from LA to Germany, and then we land the next day, and I'm going on to South Africa, so my big suitcase is not, or did not fit in here. I think we could have managed it, but we didn't have enough time to really try it out. However, let me unload the trunk so I can show you how much stuff really fits in there. I got my new measuring tape, thanks Brian, in here, so I can tell you, you have to lift up the stuff 78 centimeters, so around about 30.5 inches. The trunk has a depth, listen to my TH, a depth of 58 centimeters. So that's around about 19 inches. And since we got the subwoofer here in the side, it's not that wide, around about 85, 86 centimeters, so around about 33.5 inches. And the height is not unimportant as well. I guess it's around about 65 centimeters, so 25.5 inches high. I can flip the passenger seat, and this way I can store up to 975 liters or 34 cubic feet in here. If I measure the whole thing, up to the dashboard I have a length of 160 centimeters, so 63 inches. And you know, smart drivers are smart. They would use even this way. I have a length of 2 meters, so 78.5 inches. My driving expression will be really brief, because it is brief. We drove around about 13 miles now, and we don't have time. Our plane starts in 4 hours. We have to drop off the car, get to the airport and all that, get our luggage packed. So we will probably drive the Smart Fortwo convertible in January or February, so tune in then, and we will be more about the driving experience of the Smart Fortwo. However, our car is a 1 liter, not even 1 liter, 900 cubic centimeters, 3-cylinder engine with 90 horses. Well, I was expecting a little bit more pushy, you know. This car it's not really, you know, fast from the traffic light. It's okay, you know, but you take it rather a little bit relaxed. You can choose between 2 driving programs. We have efficiency and sport, and you see what program you chose in the display here with the driving mode. Well, you know, smart drivers from the old generation can push the stick to the left and then shift manually if they want to. Otherwise, they have the opportunity to use shifting pedals. And the shifting itself, it's such a new experience. No nodding your head anymore, just seamless shifting. And if you shift manually with the shifting pedals, it puts in the gear just like this, no delay at all. The brakes are fine, slow down the car fine. I mean, we didn't have to do an emergency brake here, but besides that, it was just okay. The steering, I'm just doing a 180 here. So you see, you have to work a little bit with the steering wheel. However, it's really light to steer and very direct too. Quite pleasant. The steering, I'm quite convinced. It's a lot of fun. And the suspension is rather stiff. I would even say a little bit sporty, but together with the seats, it's fine. It's not uncomfortable, but notable stiff, at least, you know. At least that's what I felt on the roads here in America, and they are not as nice as our roads in Germany. I'm sorry guys, that's just the way it is. So overall driving experience is not too bad. For first impression, I'm quite pleased. Could use a little bit more power. I wouldn't mind, you know, an extra 120 an extra 20 horsepower, just, you know, for the start from the traffic light. However, since the car is so small and quite handy with this, you know, turning circle, it's okay. I like it. Not too bad at all. Well, I'm coming to the end. I already told you not too much driving impressions for us because due to our lack of time and the traffic here in LA, we're afraid to drive any farther because we will miss our plane. However, so far I can say it is quite fun to drive this car. I think if you're really a smart fan, you will have even more fun than people like me who think, well, you know, regular cars are more fun, but however, you have a rear-wheel drive, you have a regular handbrake, and the car is pretty tiny, so you can turn around easily, you know, you can turn the car wherever you want to. That is fun, you know, and just switching lanes is kind of fun too. Usage as a daily driver, well, you know, it's not a family van. It's just a two-seater, and for a two-seater, I'm impressed about the large luggage compartment. I mean, if you think like, for instance, the Miata, a two-seater, here you have storage facilities all over, you know. And if you flip the passenger seat, you have even more space. That is quite impressive. I was impressed. I can't tell you anything about the fuel consumption just driving down the road. And the comfort, the suspension is pretty stiff, you know. However, not that bad. Together with the seats, they didn't make they made rather quite comfortable impression to me, so I think it is quite a comfortable ride. Yeah, depending on the road conditions probably. Well, that's it. I promise when we get the smart convertible, we will get a little bit more into the driving part. I apologize that we didn't put too much time in this while being here in California. However, if you liked our review anyway, please give us a thumb up. If you want to do something good for us, share this clip on Facebook, Twitter or Google+, or put them in your private playlist on YouTube. If you think, damn, those Germans are so cool, you can support us with money. We offer Patreon and Tippy, so you can give us some money on a regular basis. That's good. Yeah. Overall, that's it. I'm done. I'm really done, jet lagged, you know, and I want to hop on the plane and sleep for a while. I hope you enjoyed the show anyway. I'm your host, Mr. Z. My English sucks, but I do it anyway. So long. See you in our next English review.